I'm
Okay.
live with Zack Borgia. Now, Zack, you are organizing a solidarity protest tomorrow at UTRGV. You're a political science major, you're a student there. Tell me a little bit about your impression of the events that you have been seeing unfold over the past week.
Yeah, I am working with a few other people to organize this whole solidarity protest. It's actually not at our UTRGV. It's over there on University Drive at the Edinburg City Hall. And as a political science major, I seeing this. It's very interesting to see these types of horrible events unfold before our very own eyes. It's crazy for me personally as a political science major, as pretty much any political science major that's seeing this. It's because we're studying current events, we're studying society, we're studying, how to handle this type of stuff. And it's crazy because we look at it like in books, we look at it on, PowerPoint presentations or in class and whatnot. And then you actually get to see it happen real life in person. It's crazy that we're studying these types of things, that happened so long ago, or we're studying how to handle this type of stuff, and it's literally going to be written about in history books in 30, 40, 50, 60 years, where political science majors will be, in class reading about what's going on now. It's just insane, and personally, that's exactly why I help and am trying to make a difference by organizing these types of things. So I know that I and the rest of the people who have the same beliefs as I do know we're on the right side of history.
Right. Now, you're a political science major and you're an activist. Obviously, you tend to maybe hang out with a lot of people who think in a similar way. But as you have
Yeah.
organized this protest and as you have promoted it and all this, have you seen any kind of pushback from either the student or larger Rio Grande Valley community towards something like this? What kind of reception are you getting as you come upon the protest tomorrow?
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%. We are definitely getting a little bit of pushback. I know personally what to look out for, and some of the warning signs to make sure things are contained and safe. This isn't my first rodeo when it comes to social activism and putting together protests and whatnot. I remember I was involved in a protest back in 2016 for Black Lives Matter. It was a candlelight vigil, um, and I remember there was massive amount of pushback from the Rio Grande Valley's Blue Lives Matter chapter. I remember they were trying to literally shut us up and quiet us down by revving their motorcycle engines and trying to literally silence us and threaten us and everything with their motorcycles. It was very, very intense. I haven't been able to see that level of pushback from conservatives or people with differing opinions um, at this point with this protest. But we are preparing
Right.
for the worst. We're preparing to have any opposition, and we've made it clear to all the protesters and everyone involved that we have a strict zero tolerance policy for engaging with any type of opposition, if that will be verbally, if that will be physically, even emotionally. It's just
Sure.
if if they are going to spend their, especially now in the pandemic, spend their time protesting the murder of protesting the murder of a black man who did absolutely nothing wrong, then they absolutely have no better thing to do with their life, and I don't think we need to be giving them any time of our life, if you know what I mean. Aside from that,
Right.
I haven't really seen major opposition aside from some actual students here at UTRGV. I've seen a few um, posts that people have shared this event saying stuff like,
Right.
quote, um, just a bunch of attention seekers or, oh, let me know like when this is going to go down so I can know to get a Target or a Best Buy. Or I've seen some
Right.
people saying like, oh, this is such a huge waste of time. Why are we protesting this when there's no black people in the valley? And honestly, that's one of the most disgusting things I've seen is just ignoring, even if it's a small population of black people here in the valley. It's absolutely disgusting to see people just, you know, disregard their life, just disregard their community by
Yeah.
saying that they're saying that, oh, why are we protesting this? There's no community here. That's absolute bullshit to me. because yes, of course, there's black people here, and I've spoken with them. I've listened to their stories. There is rampant amount of racism in the valley, and to have people just go off saying, "Oh, like, oh, there's no black community here. Why are we protesting this?" Or they're making a joke out of it because, you know, they want to laugh. Like, "Oh, let me go get Target.
Right.
Let me know when this happens. Let me go get Best Buy. I need a new TV." You know, you don't need a new TV. You don't need to make jokes about that. You know who needs to father the kids? George Floyd. And it's just absolutely disgusting to see a lot of the valley push back.
Absolutely. So one of the things that I've been focusing on as I've talked to people about this over the last couple of days is, I guess, helping them understand the situation in these communities, how these communities are, as the data shows, being ravaged by this racist police violence. Thousands of murders actually every year across the country, because I feel that a lot of people don't know that reality. They don't, you know, they see what's on the news, but they're not aware, or maybe know the extent of what is going on in these communities. It's terrible. So from what you've seen, and obviously you interact with, you know, in this arena a lot more than I do currently, do you think that that's enough to change people's minds, to help them understand the situations going on in these black communities that are being subject to this kind of racism and violence and murder? And so, or do you think it's going to take a lot more than that? And I'm asking specifically about the Rio Grande Valley. What do you think about that?
Oh, absolutely. I do not think this will be enough. This definitely is not going to be enough, but it's a definite start to, you know, helping push the valley in the right place when it comes to progress. I know, as you know, I've lived here in the valley my entire life. I know the type of culture that the Rio Grande Valley kind of harbors in our minds, in our culture,
Right.
in just our way of life. It's very, very anti-black and very racist. So it's going to be very, very hard to try and open.
We need to talk about it.
You know, yeah, even to open up people's minds here, or, you know, even talk about that type of stuff here. So yeah, it's definitely not going to be enough. But it's going to start, and I'm going to tell you, it's going to make so many people here in the valley uncomfortable. What we're doing, it's always
Right.
been uncomfortable. It's always going to make people uncomfortable when they have to face something that they don't like. I remember people got real uncomfortable when there was a Black Lives Matter rally here in 2016 over there in Archer Park, where they marched from Archer Park to the police station and marched and chanted. And
I didn't even know, and you mentioned this earlier, but I didn't know, maybe I should have known, that there's a Blue Lives Matter chapter here in the Rio Grande Valley. How large is the membership for this group? And I don't know if you know that or not.
I'm not too sure. As far as I know, back when I was there, and I was just like a little, like, 16, 17-year-old protester at that rally in McAllen, I'm not too sure, because I remember being there, and I remember seeing a good amount, maybe like 20 to 35 people with Blue Lives Matter flags, with Trump 2016 flags on motorcycles, just circling, literally, not figuratively, but literally circling us on their motorcycles with vultures.
Right. I hope that we don't see anything like that tomorrow. I know that you all are out there in solidarity with not just George Floyd, but all of these different organizations that are involved in this now. And everything that you mentioned about people's attitude towards the protest is probably the one of the primary reasons why we need it so badly, and to have more discourse about this in our community, because everything that you're saying is true. And I myself, talking about this on social media, obviously we're in a pandemic now, over text with a lot of my contacts, letting them know about your protest and everything going on, letting them know to donate and all this kind of stuff. A lot of pushback and a lot of, more than anything, like I mentioned before, misunderstanding of what is happening in these communities. I think they just don't get it because they don't realize just the level of racism and the level of violence that these communities are subject to literally all the time. And it's very immense, and we have all the data to show that. It's very clear that all of these police departments need to be intervened with. Maybe, we need the Justice Department, we need the FBI to come in and turn these precincts inside out. Do you see that? So we want justice for George Floyd, but the problem is systemic. I mean, it's top to bottom.
In my opinion, and these are my opinions, all my own. No one else is represented.
Sure.
We're not representing any with this protest of solidarity and call for justice. It's no organization or anything. It is simply a group of, I believe, 4 to 5 activists, including myself, who have gotten together and organized this within the span of a few days. But when it comes to my own beliefs personally, you're right. It is systematic. It is majorly systematic, and I know a lot of very democratic liberals, very centrist liberals, especially some that are elected now, or like HRC, Hillary Rodham Clinton, liberals. They think they can reform it. They think they can fix it. You can't fix something that's so broken that in the span of 72 hours, cops are used as a weapon to destroy black people's lives, or black people are used as scapegoats when white people don't want to deal with their own problems, or literally murdered with a cop's knee on their neck for literally 8 minutes, or screaming "I can't breathe." There is absolutely no way you are going to be able to fix something that is broken beyond belief. When you break a glass on the floor, you do not try and tape it up. You throw it away because it is broken. There's no way you're going to be able to fix this systematic oppression that is so rampant within our country. There's absolutely no way you can fix it. You have to replace it, and I don't know how that's going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen. I just know it's not going to be able to be fixable at this point. It just can't be.
Right.
Aside from that, I really quickly wanted to
say
something about our event. I am a Latinx brown person, but I in no way am black at all. So I never felt truly comfortable being a leader or a host for this type of event.
Okay.
So we went ahead. So I did start it. I did organize it and everything, and I'm contributing somewhat to the conversation. But once everything starts to going, I'm going to work to make some introductions to mitigate, to keep people safe and everything, and help out with peacekeeping. But this isn't my conversation to lead. I want to thank some of our other hosts. Their names are Mackenzie, we have Rebecca, we have Dolores. I'm not going to name last names for safety reasons, but these amazing women have stepped up and become leaders in their community to go ahead and speak their truth about being black women in the RGV and talk about their experiences with racism. They're going to be the ones leading the conversation at this event. They're going to be the ones sharing real racist stories and talk about how systematic oppression has really negatively impacted their life, and how there's a rampant amount of racism and anti-blackness. They're going to lead the conversation, and I'm gladly going to step back because this isn't my conversation. Because I know there was some criticism with that, and I wholeheartedly agree. I and other Latinx people do not need to be leading this conversation. If anything, we need to show like what we're doing is we're going to be showing solidarity. We're going to be showing
absolutely
our black people here that we support them, we hear them, we understand them, and that we want to call for justice as well. But when it comes to this conversation, we're going to share our perspective, and we are not going to lead this. This is not our fight to fight. This is not our conversation to have, or it's not our conversation to lead. So I want to thank these amazing, powerful black leaders in our community, and just for any black person or any black leader or any just black citizen in the Rio Grande Valley, we invite you to come out, and we understand that in the valley, it's very pro-police, it's very anti-black, it's very racist, but we are progressing, and even though it might be a small number of progressives like us, like ourselves, we are going to mobilize, we are going to organize, and we are going to truly push this area and this region into the future to make sure that any anti-blackness and any racism that runs through our community and runs through our culture is thrown out the window, because that's not going to happen here anymore. Then this is exactly why that's what I'm trying to do with this event, and that's what I'm going to try and do with these women to kind of transform the valley and send a message to every Black member of our community in the Rio Grande Valley that they are seen, they are heard, they are safe, and they have
Absolutely.
support.
Absolutely. And one last thing that I wanted to ask you is, for people who maybe may not have been to an event like this before and want to show up in solidarity, or maybe are on the fence thinking about showing up, what are some of the things that you can tell them? What should they bring? What kind of safety precautions are going to be taken? What about COVID? Should people wear masks? Have you guys talked about that kind of stuff? What can people expect when they get there, and what rules should they follow?
Oh yeah, that's a wonderful question, and I'm so glad that you asked that, because we're literally having a organizers meeting over Zoom talking about all of these issues. So our policy, like I mentioned before, is a zero tolerance to speak or talk or physically, interact with any type of counter protest that might show up to this event. So when it comes to safety, not only is one of our main concerns showing our solidarity, support, and calling for justice for the murder of our Black and brown brothers and sisters that are murdered just for existing in broad daylight, but it is definitely the safety of our protesters. So, like I said, we have that policy where they are not allowed to interact for their own safety, and if any of them are to feel unsafe, they are to let the organizers and the hosts know. And we are also going to try and have peacekeepers there that have volunteered throughout, from the people that have been showing up or wanting to go, to let us know. I personally will stand in between any single counter protester who and any one of our protesters who are being threatened or feels unsafe, to make sure that they feel safe and put up that barrier between them. Aside from that, they are to let the hosts know, and we are going to do everything in our power to de-escalate the situation and to protect them, their views, and their literal physical bodies at any cost. Aside from
that,
go ahead.
Sure. Sorry. So now, will there be any considerations for COVID-19 safety at the event tomorrow for people who maybe have that in their mind?
Yeah, absolutely. I was about to move on to that. So let me say that when it comes to COVID-19, that is one of our biggest things that we've been thinking about when it comes to organizing this. If you want to come to this protest and show solidarity, that's wonderful, but you are required, and it's one of the rules for this protest that we are going to make mandatory, is that you need to wear a mask. It doesn't matter if it's a cloth mask, if it's an N95 or N99 mask, if it's a surgical mask. Just please wear a mask to curtail the spread of potential COVID-19 type of disease, type of virus or anything. So please.
So masks required.
Yes, sir. Masks are absolutely required, and we are also going to ask that if you're going to come with someone in your household, you can go ahead and hang around them. You can hang around the person that's in your household that's been there for 2 weeks, a month of your own quarantine. That's totally fine. But with other people that haven't been in your household that you're going to interact with at this event, please stay at least 6 feet apart from that person. I know it's not the ideal situation, and it's not going to be super duper amazingly comfortable to be 6 feet apart.
It's necessary.
It's necessary, yeah, because I know it's extremely important to show solidarity and protest, and really, show up our Black community here in the Valley and across America. But we also really are trying to make public safety a major issue as well. So we're going to try and mitigate that by having people be 6 feet apart from each other at all times. Okay.
So you mentioned also 415 West University is not campus. What is the actual venue?
The venue is going to be, if any of my Edinburg people know, that is City Hall for Edinburg.
City Hall. Got it.
Yes, on
Edinburg City Hall.
Yes, sir. On the Facebook page or the Facebook group event, it has the exact address. All you need to do if you want to go, if you need any help finding out where that is, literally just type just press the address that is in the group or on the page or whatever, and it'll say, do you want to open on Apple Maps, do you want to open it on Google Maps or Bing Maps, whoever uses that, and then that'll show you exactly and give you directions. If not, just look up the City of Edinburg City Hall, and it'll be
Got
over
it.
there. Right at that location, there's going to be parking right in front of City Hall where you can go ahead and park. We are going to meet in the courtyard area. It's a very big, very nice space, very, very open. And there's even, I believe, I'm not too sure, but I'm pretty sure across from City Hall and that little courtyard area is kind of like a bike/walkway leading down to a little kind of like gazebo. So if there's a major abundance of people,
Right.
we can go ahead and have protesters stand there while they listen to some of the speakers talk about
Spread out a little bit.
Yeah, they can stand there and listen to our speakers speak about youth racism, about standing in solidarity, calling for justice, all that good stuff. And I know after that we are going to go ahead and make the Valley very uncomfortable by standing 6 feet apart from each other with signs, with I believe usernames for the Freedom Fund and other Black organizations who are supporting the protesters in Minneapolis. In Minneapolis, we're going to have their Venmos and Cash Apps and PayPal usernames. People can donate and make a tangible difference. But we're also going to have the names of people, or the Black men and women who have been murdered.
Fantastic.
And we're going to stand on the sidewalk right in front of University Drive. So any person who wants
Edinburg
to go
City Hall.
Yes, that wants to go get Whataburger, Chick-fil-A, Con's Grill, anything on that main strip, if they want to go get that, they're going to have to pass by us and realize this is happening. The Valley's changing, and this is happening outside of our bubble that is, our Latinx RGV bubble. So we're really going to try and show it out.
Thank you so much. The George Floyd Solidarity Protest in Edinburg happening at 2 p.m. at Edinburg City Hall tomorrow. Masks and social distancing are required. Zack Borgia, thank you so much for calling in today and giving us details on this. And good luck with your event tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a great rest of your day, man. Thank you, everybody.
Likewise.
Bye.
Thank you so much.